You're not going to do it. Good? Shift on to the other side. Okay. This.
Come on, Prof.
Okay. Sorry, sir. The full.
Family on good evening. Like we been on talk. This is a commitment we been on make to una. Say every Thursday, 8 p.m. we come for report government to una. And we been on also promise say every time whosoever we will come to una from there. This time within New York, within the mission building. We want for brief una on all what don't happen in the United Nations General Assembly. Una know say this year na the 77th edition. His Excellency been lead a high power delegation of people, including the foreign minister, una in terrain this. We don't navigate through these waters for several years now. So today I want for officially welcome Professor David Francis. We not new to una. Professor been done in the ministry as chief minister, we own boss before. Now in the chief diplomat for the country in the absence of His Excellency the President. So today, I want to let Professor talk to una. Let a share out una the thing that we done they happen na New York. Salon don't can get a lot of goodies there. A lot of activities that happen there. I think for the very first time, I see the president was all smiles. You know, but Professor will take you through this before me come back for join una on other issues. Professor Francis, I want for welcome you for let you join today's session.
My family, good evening. And again, thank you, Information Minister, for giving me this opportunity for make a talk to we all about waiting we done the two na New York. My family, every year, the whole world body, 193 member states them, wouldn't form the United Nations. Then they come together. The United Nations now the world's largest gathering of heads of state, where all the presidents, the heads of states, the prime ministers, they come together for share ideas how to deal with the global problems the world they face around climate change. Climate change, what they talk about boku water and flooding, the rain they come too much in the clay flooding, but also they talk about peace and security issue, how to get one world, how to stop war and conflict in the world, and of course the global cost of living crisis, the fuel shortages, etc. So now this is not the purpose of the United Nations. The United Nations to bring all the heads of states them. So for Salon, this year, His Excellency Brigadier General Retired Dr. Julius Adebayor now in lead the Sierra Leone delegation for come to the 77th session of the UN General Assembly. The President yesterday he present a statement for and on behalf of the government and the people of Sierra Leone. This has been very important. But before I talk about the President in statement, the UN General Assembly, and in particular the UN Secretary General, they invite President Bio as the co-chair for the Transforming Education Summit, will happen on the 19th of September. Sierra Leone get the opportunity for sit down at the same table for chair with the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres. This is now one of the greatest honor within the give to any country in the world for share that platform there with the UN Secretary General for talk about education. And President Bio, have been the co-chair for talk about education. So President Bio on the 19th, then on Monday, he present the case of Sierra Leone. Waiting Sierra Leone don't do for transform education, for address some of the problems and way education they face. So all the other countries of the world want to learn from the experience of how Sierra Leone, this small country, now don't invest in human capital development, don't put 22% of all the money what they get in the country, they call GDP, we don't put them specifically on education and how that don't make them possible for 2.5 million Pekin today for me them go free na salon, for me them go na school free. So President Bio talk about the progress we don't make, the challenges we they get, and how we they invest in education. Because President Bio believe in one thing. It says salon, we get abundant minerals then, from diamond to gold to bauxite to iron ore, etc. But all the minerals they not change and transform the country. So today we get problems of unemployment. We get increasing areas and with some areas that with more poverty there. Some people they did not get jobs. The global cost of living crisis they affect we all in salon. That's a fact. We're not going to ever deny that. So President Bio say, look, Lord not just focus just on the mineral resources we'll get. Lord focus on how we go invest in the human capital of the country. Because now the most productive sector we go ever last. So because when you become educated, not just for yourself, you to help yourself, you to help your family, you to forget job, not just for going to school, but for land, trade, technical and vocational institutions, etc., etc. So this now the opportunity we then give to Salon. And as foreign minister, I've been very pleased and proud for see President Bio and in two education ministers, Dr. David Senge and Dr. Alpha Wuri, then sit down now the platform and engage with the whole world community. And I've been proud for one thing. All the heads of states, and then they can congratulate President Bio, and then they congratulate in education ministers for waiting they don't do for transform and support education in the country. That's not one. So the second reason why President Bio came at the annual event of the United Nations General Assembly, where all the heads of states and then they come together. So President Bio, during this time, as I say at the beginning, it presents the statement of Sierra Leone. And in this statement, President Bio talked about the progress which Sierra Leone don't make in investing in human capital development. President Bio talked about how Sierra Leone, this small country, they contribute for set the agenda for peace, security, and development. President Bio talked about how this small country today is on the global stage, respected by other community or state, by other member states. So Sierra Leone they now the platform with all other states in there. So in statement, it talk about how Sierra Leone don't lead for the first time in the history of the country a United Nations resolution what we do together with Japan on international cooperation for assistance, remedies, and access to justice for victims of sexual violence. So you see, this comes from the advocacy work of the First Lady Hands of Our Girls. Because of the impact with this Hands of Our Girls program don't they make, we get an international organization called Rice Foundation. Then contact the government of Sierra Leone and request 5 months ago for make Sierra Leone co-facilitate, that means for make them come together and work together for promote this resolution there. So this is now a big thing for Sierra Leone, for promote for the first time ever, small country like we, they promote a UN resolution. And President in speech talk about Naim being asked for make the mission in New York, made them lead this resolution. And we're happy for announce today, say, on the 2nd of September, as foreign minister, Mrs. F. been can in New York and the General Assembly and introduce the resolution. And are happy for telling all say this resolution be go through successfully as a consensus. So that's an important thing. Nobody not vote against this resolution on access to justice for victims of sexual violence. The third aspect where President Bio talked about in his statement, say Sierra Leone, Naina the chair for the African Union Committee of 10, where they lead for the United Nations Security Council, made them change them. Made them reform them so that it will be beneficial to all the countries of the world. The UN Security Council, since they established them, They don't only reform them only once in 1963. They increased them onto 11 members. UN Security Council get 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members. So Sierra Leone, Naina the chair and coordinator for the reform of the United Nations Security Council. So President Bio say this is not the opportunity now for Sierra Leone, for they now this process here for talk for on behalf of the whole of Africa. So this is a very important development. So this is not some of the highlights them where I just want to mention where President Bio talk about. So I don't talk about in role where he come as co-chair. I don't talk about the president where he don't come as president of the Republic of Sierra Leone where he present in statement. And during that time, President also, not just for present statement, again forget what they call bilateral meetings. He meets with the MCC, the Millennium Cooperation Challenge Fund. This is now an opportunity for Sierra Leone for access resources, for can help in the water and energy sector. He gets other bilaterals them. This is now part of putting Sierra Leone on the global stage, which make it important for make Sierra Leone then at this kind of level there. Where Sierra Leone then at this level where all other countries and they respect them, is done at the table with the UN Security Council, with other world leaders them. You present Sierra Leone as a safe, credible country for come for invest. Where you invest in the country, you create jobs, you create training opportunities, and all of that. But also the third segment where I want to just finish with now the role of the foreign minister and the ministers and what they accompany the president. It's very important for we. When we come, we always support the president. So the foreign minister gets series of other bilateral engagements. So for example, I don't meet with the foreign minister of Iceland. We don't confirm for say, then they open the third embassy na Africa, na Freetown, Sierra Leone, by next year. Then they come for help for the fisheries sector and women empowerment. So then fisherwomen them. Then one when they do fisheries business. We get when I get for can see development in that area that we go help all them market women them, then women they wouldn't they do fish business in the country. I don't get bilateral with Serbia, the foreign minister of Serbia, the foreign minister of Hungary, and then one that all we don't agree say are always they ask for more and more scholarship. The Serbian foreign minister don't commit for give 50 scholarship per annum for 5 years. Then 250 scholarships for masters and PhD and undergraduate studies for men and go study for can help for develop the human capital of the country. The same for Hungary. We don't sign a cooperation agreement with the foreign minister of Hungary. This cooperation agreement is a focus on economic development. So currently, Hungary don't provide concessionary loan. That means money within they give it and they trust you, but not so the interest rate is small. Then they help we for the water sector. For make we develop more and more water infrastructure possibilities in the country. So during dry season, water go there for the country. So these are some of the things and what they do with very, very important. So again, I will go on and on, but I'll just stop here for now.
Professor, you know they go into because Fambo they're very excited with this Facebook Live. They not ask Boku questions.
Okay.
Then they tell you plenty thank you. People then say this is not the right thing for do. For example, Melrose Community say the country they on the global stage, then they celebrate her. Musa Kaba say they watch you live from Bumuna. That means this government don't extend the fiber footprints.
Thank you.
Mohamed Jallo say they tell you plenty thank you for flying the green, white, and blue flag. Charles Champion said don't come back for comment. Other people then say, well, you wash your hands clean. You ate with kings.
Thank you.
The leadership of the country don't wash your hands clean and that make with the plane at the world stage. But somebody there something doubt them. And are you not the best person for respond to this? I don't expect a very detailed response. So what is your government doing? Okay, inside Salon, so what's your government doing about Adebayor, who is based in Holland, causing problems for the country? Please explain to us, Mr. Foreign Minister. So I think the people that care about the peace, stability, and tranquility of a country. Anybody who sit on some side, they destabilize our country, the Sierra Leoneans the one for know what they do about her. And who better to respond to that than the Foreign Minister himself? Yes, sir.
Well, again, Mr. Information Minister, are happy with this question Warden raised. But you know, government, not everything we did talk about. Every credible, respectable government, not everything you did put in a door. Government, not to social media. Governments, it did do very serious things them way most of the time we not they talk about. On this matter, I want to reassure all Sierra Leoneans then that this matter will be resolved once and for all. Now the simple message that, and as when I know, last week, when I don't see him on social media, not to me, SSF even put him initially, now the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of the government of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, then at the Dutch government, now SSF invites me, and we meet, we don't talk, I go together with the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, we don't get very serious discussions at government to government level. We don't start a very credible process. And as we meet again at the UN General Assembly, yesterday, I meet with the Dutch Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, and we don't talk again. So I just want to reassure everyone, in the interest of peace, security, and stability of the country, this matter will be resolved once and for all, and resolved credibly. Government will not wait for talk about everything. So Lord just left them, we say I don't put them for now. But I just want to reassure and say this matter will be resolved.
Okay. So Fambolen, if you not enjoy this program, like indeed when I don't say when I enjoy them, I want to share the link there. We want this an honest, sincere, and frank Sierra Leonean conversation. I want to share them. Let more people that engage with the post. Somebody say the foreign minister, the fire on all in cylinders by this program, and they commend you. So,
okay,
but this is the foreign minister we have known anyway. Somebody they asked, the other one will bring Professor Dr. Divisenge another time. Somebody they encourage you, say, Brad, we are not disclose anything. The way you don't talk on the Adebayor thing, they let cancel. Yeah, people then glad you say, Apostle Elisha Dixon Tommy say, glad you will take the country to another level. I mean, some joker, Idris Toure, but look, if you're not able to elevate the conversation, you're not able to participate in the civil conversation, we'll go ignore you, right? You go low, we'll go high. Yes, so Professor Francis, they wrap up because they're in the middle of a lot of things. I go tell you now, for example, I want to encourage you, waiting to happen now tomorrow. What to make some of we knock out the president in delegation. Prof, go to speak to this.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Again, Mifambulam, it's very important, and I really want to commend my colleague, the Information Minister, for put this program together, for make we engage and talk frankly. We all not go agree. And even at Oswo Day, even the family war day, even with brothers and sisters them, marriage, na school, na classroom, we all know they agree always. This is not a fact of life. So in the country, in the society, it's not possible for us to all agree. But at the same time, we all go agree, say we belong to one family, one country, one society. And because of that, as foreign minister, waiting me don't find out where I can. Now, I don't find out say Sierra Leone is respected. You know where they go per meeting? You see, you come in foreign minister, then they grab antenna for greet you. That means say you get salt in your head. Then they respect the country and then they respect you. Everybody they talk about positively about Sierra Leone. The UN Secretary General commend President Bio for the transformative effort we don't do on education in the country. The UNESCO Director General talk about President Bio in unwavering commitment to education. Everybody they talk about Sierra Leone today in the UN General Assembly in terms of the progress where Sierra Leone don't make. And we don't present Sierra Leone as a successful case after the end of the war. We don't hold 5 successful democratic elections, including 2 transfer of power from incumbent government to opposition. This is not easy in Africa. But we in a salon with the students in all as fake things that we not appreciate. It's not easy. So this Sierra Leone Day on the stage, the abolition, today I just come out pan a meeting, now the UN meeting, where we don't sign for abolish nuclear weapons. We don't join other community or states. At come up our meeting just this afternoon, where we also then they produce Sierra Leone now as a success story for the abolition of death penalty. So everywhere on education, then they praise Sierra Leone. On global governance issues, then they praise Sierra Leone. Yes, you go say, well, I know the feeling in my pocket. Yes, within these so-called bread and butter issues, they affect you all. Yes, the dollar, the rise. Yes, I no get job. But now then collective things then we don't do just in 4 years. Just in 4 years, don't not forget, we don't put Sierra Leone on the global map. Where we've been calm. I've been very clear. People, they always, when they talk about Sierra Leone, don't they take Sierra Leone seriously? But in this past 4 years, Sierra Leone now, I want to end with one thing. We're all there for tomorrow, for promote, and the president, the formally launched now the UN General Assembly, we bid for the UN Security Council seat in the non-permanent category for 2024-2025. This now, 50 years ago, Sierra Leone began at the UN Security Council with a comeback day, where they can become part of the world's most important organization where they deal with peace and security. Sierra Leone get for dinner the room with China, with America, with France, with Britain, with Russia, with all the big powers in the country. We go for the day and all they make the decisions where they affect peace and security. This is now one of the greatest opportunities we Sierra Leone get. So on this matter, I want really encourage Sierra Leone today. We are highly respected. This are the talk about. Sierra Leone on the UN Security Council bid. Now this are the talk about. So for the first time, Sierra Leone, they come back after 50 years. So as I say, it don't matter whether which party you belong to, which side you come out now the country, whether you're young or old, Sierra Leone now will all get them. And for make them respect Sierra Leone, we get forget peace, security, and stability in the country. Some of we not they call we say politician then. Some of we not technocrat, we not academics then. We come to government with a very clear, credible reputation. Me not go one left and I go get dirty name on me. No, it's not possible at all. It's not possible. So now that make we try for work together for make Sierra Leone, the narrative about Sierra Leone, make it change. So this UN Security Council, they go help this country a lot. Already progress. We don't make progress. But this one tomorrow, the president, the launch him. So we get the Minister of Information, the Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs. We get the Minister of Planning and Economic Development. We get the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, the Minister of Technical and Vocational Higher Education. We're all there for promote Sierra Leone. And we'll also invite other people that wouldn't they can join me for make sure say we put Sierra Leone on the world stage as a respectable country of standing, the country where they give hope to other countries that wouldn't they go through difficulties. Because Sierra Leone, now a very good example of yes, you can go through bad times, but that's not missing. I say you get for be always. Sierra Leone don't go through bad times. We don't end the war. We don't get peace. We don't secure democracy. Would they try? Is it perfect? No, it's never perfect. The same America who they talk about, look about January 6th, what happened to them. So every country gets in your own challenge. So Lord also be patient enough for understand, say, this not part of it. Now, just 4 years we don't do for transform Sierra Leone on the global stage. Lord work together. Let me message that to all Sierra Leoneans. Say thank you to all.
Professor Francis, I want to tell you plenty thank you. And when I say we don't engage with I know we get over 400 people that already engage with the poster right now. I'm not going to talk about the amount of shares. They are quite countless. I want to tell you now plenty thank you. When other people that will make a date to this program, when I know say na so now where anything where you get the clarification, where you will talk and that is it. You need to look no further. And Professor don't lay some of here bare and clear. Now the foundational issues, and this is what the president they talk, we are laying the foundation. I see Ibrahim Jakema say brand new direction after President Bill, now President Bill 2023, no runoff. Idris Toure, I say you personally like me, we might disagree on a few issues, but that's the spirit, now democracy that. I appreciate that. Mohamed Samora say this is a show say the government very responsible. Government where they open itself to public scrutiny, government where they vouch for accountability. I mean, this is not the first government in living memory where they come in, officials and they come in for say, look, law discourse, a lot of talk, farm talk, a lot of talk, salon talk. We might disagree. Fair enough. But Lord just make sure say salon day at the heart and center of it. So I tell family they engage with the poster, Lord continue for share, and continue for share. The last time salon meeting as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council now before they born me. That was over 51 years ago, 1971, not also prof.
Yes.
Now before they born me.
Yes.
So this has never happened in the history of my own lifetime. Yes. So Idris, somebody like you, I don't say you not be non-CD. Boku of the man now they interact with we. So this is history. President Bill, they make history under our very watch. Because if very personally interested in this, we need for sit down at the world stage so that we still go to part of the global decision-making mechanisms. So salon people then will get some whole thing, say how much money I don't spend. So what they do then in there, there's something they call a brand, where then they sell business stuff. Yeah, business, the brands on the world past the business stuff. Yeah, so sit down under, we'll be taking decisions around the world on world issues there, people then go to meet with or lobby with, and the benefits then will be enormous for our country. So me, instead of looking at it as cost, look at it as an investment opportunity for the country. This now rebrand with the rebrand the country, with the reposition now, for let it get not only a fair share of foreign direct investment, but let it also remain a very expected member of the International Committee of Nations. I think this is very important. Professor don't talk about some of the things that don't happen now. They go into professor. You know, like I said, the people they want to still engage more. Somebody they ask then scholarship they ask, so how then go able access her. But Prof go talk about her.
Okay. I'm happy we raise the scholarship issue. Since the president appoints me as foreign minister, one of the things that I don't really focus on as an academic now for really support the president in human capital development agenda. So the scholarships then available, since I come, we don't raise more than 1,000 scholarships. And also, which thing they do when they engage with me, colleague foreign ministers, and before they can just give me 50-fata scholarship, most of the time we not even get the specialism. So now where they go? They ask for specific 50 scholarships per annum for 5 years. If you want, you do, and if you don't want, you go. But I'm very clear why they talk with them. I say, secondly, now we get for sure waiting at the areas and what we want to focus on. Medicine, engineering, geology, education, sciences, technology, innovation. Now we they specify what side we want to go for med and go study at undergraduate, master's, and PhD level. So we don't make their scholarships available. For example, the Hungarian scholarship we had just done negotiate last year. This year, the first people that they don't come through the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, now they will not forgo. Then they announce them. Wait until foreign ministry not they deal with them. We they send them to the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, but we they also monitor for make sure say the right people them that then they get the scholarship. This year, for pay 1 penny, 1 single penny, 1 single Leone, the scholarships them then free will they negotiate. It's very clear. So now I talk about the Hungarian scholarship. Now 50 scholarships and give it. Now more than 190 people that apply for this scholarship. So now then they finish the process for pick out the best one them for the 50 scholarships. And as we know, Hungary is a member of the European Union and then get one of the best universities them. The same for Morocco as well. Morocco this year alone then give it about 105 scholarships them. We don't make sure, say, we work with the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education. We own role as foreign ministry now for passing over to the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education for make them do the interview process because not we own work down there. But we own work now for look for and pass on to them. But we not stop there. We make sure, say, we work with the ministry for monitor, for make sure, say, the people then wait and get the best qualification then they get them. Not so party governance. Now, would I get the adequate qualification, it will apply. And when you don't apply, not so then SEF, the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education, not so then they approve. Now, the country where they give the scholarship, now they give the approval. So what I want to share with you now, all the one that where they make sure say then qualify, then get the qualification and then for apply. And that make we tell the Ministry of Technical and Higher Education say, please we not sell the scholarship. Please we not send people them where they not get the qualification. Because if they give we 50 scholarship, they will go give people them where they not get the better qualification. That may say we they lost most of the scholarship. So we encourage, so we work very well. And so far, I'm very pleased with the leadership of my colleague, Dr. Alpha Wuri, for the support way it give on their scholarships and for make sure say A, then they announce them, everybody know about them. B, everybody entitled for apply. It no matter which country you come out, which part of the country you come out, which party you belong to, it no matter Sierra Leone. Everybody for benefit from that scholarship day. Now that, so will they continue for do the same? We get other scholarships that wouldn't they come as well. In fact, Chinese scholarship, that's 71 scholarships where they don't increase to, I think, 105 scholarship this year alone for men and go out. So we want to make it more and more possible for more and more Sierra Leoneans for make them get access for higher education. Look at people like we, education and God in blessing and don't transform we. So we want to give opportunity to everybody from Kamakwe to Kono, from Kenima to Falaba, from Freetown to Pujehu, every part of the country for benefit from the scholarships that will bring come.
Okay. Well, Professor, thank you. So the other bit, one particular question there. I want to tell Fambulen, thank you. We now engage with we. So we don't agree for keeping this discussion very civil, and I'm enjoying it very, very, very much. So I want to encourage you now for continue for comment, for continue for share. Let's get more people there engaged with this conversation. But Professor, before you go, somebody they say, please help us Sierra Leone. Help us. Sierra Leone does not have an embassy in Spain. This na Mara Abudaka. And I ask, say Salon get embassy in Spain, do you allow you help there? So now something that we go like for Rob Motpa. But importantly, what Professor say, now the right people then they get a scholarship here. I remember several years back before this government came to power, then they recommend people then for Commonwealth scholarship, right? About 20-something Commonwealth scholarship they come, you go you and your family, your wealth, then scholarship then they give the wrong set of people. In the end, then virtually all man lost some. So we don't learn that lesson there. We know say now the very best of Sierra Leoneans now they go for them scholarship there. And this government not go do will not go make that mistake today. Because ultimately, now the more when I put your best foot forward, we get the best people then they go for them here. Nine government go able for continue for enjoy them here. Somebody they ask, where scholarship or not they, where scholarship then can, where is the job? But that is where you get it exactly wrong. Not all education they go get abroad when I can wait for job and at the public service. A, you don't enhance your competitiveness even globally. B, you go into entrepreneurial education and a lot more things. But this is not to say government not important. So government very, very, very important. Government jobs are important. And that make would underline the importance of peace and stability. With peace and stability, government able to attract foreign direct investment. Government they also able to make sure it create jobs for people there. So yes, that's some of the things. And Bokari Musa, thank you very much, Professor Deniteli. Thank you for the very explicit explanation. Professor, not supposed to worry people and sabi for very explicit explanation, but he's been very spot on today. He really want for talk to him people there. So somebody they say location. I make an clear our start. I should say that person they join me in the course of the conversation. Within New York and within Sierra Leone mission na New York. Na they would can live from. Remember, so launch this program, the inaugural version. I be making clear say any South we will make sure say we'll bring this let we talk to the minister live. I'm glad to say I don't get one of the big ministers in the government today for share the conversation tonight. Next week, the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary School will not agree for join we, but unfortunately, next week he will join we. I've been supposed to join we this week, but I'm happy that I have David here. Yeah. Okay, Professor.
Well, on the issue of embassy in Spain, well, we're not a small country. When you're in a small country, you also get find a way where you get influence on other countries. So we get currently 24 missions across. Some other countries then get more than 100. We not going for afford the very expensive for establish and operate a mission. So what we don't do, we can appoint one ambassador, now one with the resident in one country, that it gets what we call accreditation jurisdiction. That means with the president they approve other countries and it gets control over. So it they go now and they supervise. So like Spain, we ambassador, we then Germany now and they cover that because now European Union member states. So because of that, in the cover the activities, we're not going for establish embassy in all the 193 countries there. We not get that kind of couple for do that. Not for say all the other countries are not important. They're important. But we'll also get for find out how we'll use the resources well. So we'll get that ambassador where they oversee that country, like Spain. Any problem within Spain that they would turn to. So I sure say the ambassador, if you get any issue, please raise them up. The other thing we can do, with the appointment we call honorary consul. We shall not get resident ambassador, would they appoint somebody who is credible, where go they na Madrid, for example, where they represent the interests of the government of Sierra Leone, but also go represent the interests of Sierra Leoneans there, or then na Spain and na Madrid, because it's very important. So that person there as honorary consul, they represent the government of Sierra Leone, and they represent Sierra Leoneans. So if Sierra Leoneans then get problem na Spain or na Madrid, then they go to that person there. So these are some of the things that we don't do now. In fact, during my own time as foreign minister, now that I don't emphasize on and say we not get the couple for establish embassies and missions them all throughout the world. But what we will do, we wait for encourage then people then for make them step up, then for be credible, then wait for represent Sierra Leone with credibility and focus on the interests of Sierra Leoneans and the country we side and they, but also support trade and investment. So now that's what they do. So if you get suggestion about somebody who is very credible in Madrid, where if you say you want to nominate for making represent the interests of Sierra Leoneans, then please make sure say you contact the foreign ministry for do that. But they do that across the country. Now one way then they will run the government efficiently. Even the established countries then, they're not so all established and developed countries then get embassies all over the world. Then they rationalize them. Then they put one person where they cover 3 or 4 other countries then. Some of other countries and then they put one person in one area, they cover about 6, 10, 11, 20 other countries then. As a small country, we therefore be strategic how they operate as well. So now they word that on that matter.
Professor, this is testimony time. I want to read from Bokari Musa. Bokari saying I one of the people that will apply for the scholarship and indeed from where we start the process, nobody no ask and forgive 1 Leone. This is what the new direction is about.
Thank you.
We want to make sure say we get our best and brightest Sierra Leoneans then we go represent because we not send ambassadors that will go out yonder.
Yes.
It's how una acquit una self now they make una company then with the Cambian una say get equal opportunity for candy later. Somebody say this person so it say if na be other people there, now na girlfriend there, na brother and sister there, then go give. Well, that's the danger. When you give you girlfriend, you brother, you sister, you picking when not able to go pass, other people there na they go take, they give country bad luck.
Yes.
Because then they not go keep sending water down a black hole. They want to give people there where they acquit themselves very well, where they able pass, where they able benefit because now the country resources and they put into them. So it's all about fear. Say we put we best people them forward. Bokari, I want to assure you, say, as long as you compete fairly in the process, you deserve it, they can give it to you because that's to our credit as a government, as a country. Okay. So I want for encourage una continue for share, una share the link, Lord continue for engage. This is getting really exciting. Tomorrow we'll carry the official launch of the Sierra Leone in bid for the non-permanent seat. Now the UN Security Council will carry on live on this page. We'll encourage you now for follow. This is a Sierra Leonean thing. The important thing is we are all making history together.
Yes.
If you be asking me what 50 years, I know one day see Salon bid. Now I don't 51 years. This is historic. And you're not able to know about pass after some time you want to share out the beginning. Yeah. So I want to encourage you now. Wanna share, and Una continue for do the very best for let this thing go forward.
Okay. Just on the bid, just make one point on the bid. This bid don't show say when the country come together, we're always able to make progress. And I really want to acknowledge the support of the Parliamentary Foreign Relations Committee chaired by Honorable I.B. Kagbo. Honorable I.B. Kagbo, he don't join me as Foreign Minister for Mekukana, New York and Washington for promote we bid. And also, I really want to recognize the support of the cross-party support, all in the parliament. The parliamentarians then go out of their way for support the minister and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the President and State House for mobilized support from the leader of government business to the Speaker of Parliament to the Parliamentary Select Committee on Foreign Affairs and International Relations. They all support. In fact, this is not the only committee where I see where they make case to the Ministry of Finance for me to increase allocation to the ministry because of the good work what they do for promote Sierra Leone. So you see, what I try to explain here is that when we come together as a people, irrespective of the political affiliation, we achieve more for the country. So we bid in success for make Nigeria stand down for small Sierra Leone. It's not been easy at all, but because we get support from across the continent, especially from the West African sub-region, and more so the parliamentary leadership, but importantly, the leadership of President Bio, because President Bio encourages them, respect them. Now that makes Nigeria with Big Brother. During the meeting in September last year between President Bio and President Buhari, President Buhari said, no, this time at the left for make Sierra Leone. And Mr. President Bio for make una go na the UN Security Council. They say una go represent West Africa and una go represent Africa well. So this now we dey go na the UN Security Council because of the collective. We all don't come together for support the process. The leadership of President Bio, the leadership of the Parliament, especially the Foreign Relations Parliamentary Select Committee, and the cross-party support for we bid, the civil society organization, the journalists, they all support we for make we bid a very powerful case. So that when we go to the UN Security Council, we'll go share with the rest of the world two things them. One, Sierra Leone a resilient country and the people they're resilient. That despite the war, despite the Ebola, despite all, we are still standing and we are making progress. And we will make progress and we will be one of the most developed countries in Africa. Secondly, would it give hope to the rest of the other countries that wouldn't they face problem, from Ukraine to Afghanistan, to Iraq, to Libya, to Yemen, to South Sudan, to Israel, Palestine, that yes, we will get problems then. But we the give hope say yes, peace, security, and development will eventually come. So this is not the message we will do. Because Sierra Leone, then they look to Sierra Leone as a successful case. How we don't deal with disarmament, reintegration and rehabilitation of former child soldiers. How we don't deal with gender equality and women empowerment. How we don't deal with building peace after the end of war. How we don't deal with consolidation of democracy. These are all very difficult things then for achieve. But for make we able to do so, it takes time, it takes patience, but it also takes the understanding of all the people there. These are the messages. I thank you very much. I go to the next meeting now for represent His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio at the ECOWAS summit, because on the margins of the UN, where all the heads of state there, other groups and then they call meetings. So the ECOWAS region, the ECOWAS chairman, we don't visit Sierra Leone recently in August. He don't call a meeting of all the heads of states then. So because President Bio don't travel back to Freetown, and me, the foreign minister, he asked me for lead the delegation. So I go for represent Sierra Leone at the next meeting will involve the ECOWAS heads of state. Then they go talk about peace, security, and stability, but also development, and also the global cost of living crisis and the impact on ordinary people in the West African sub-region. Me fambolem, I'm glad for the tonight today, and thank you very much, my colleague Minister Rado. Mohammed, sorry. I thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Professor, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been a very great moment with you. So, I want for tell you now plenty thank you for the engage with this program. I want for encourage you now for continue for share. They not just tell me say we'll get less than 15 minutes remaining. So I want for encourage you now for ask una questions there now and let we answer them question and then move forward. On a personal note, Mr. Binom be very, very busy. Apart from accompanying His Excellency the President, we also don't get a lot of other engagements there. When I hear Professor they talk about side meetings there, I don't get a couple of side meetings where I come, where I don't attend. For example, one of the side meetings and then at the feature of the internet. Then they talk about metaverse now. They want to go beyond what's in there right now. So we engage with Facebook then, with other regional leaders then, because it was an African thing. We share a lot of ideas then. We don't encourage them for let them engage in Sierra Leone. Because what happened, the time they design the internet, Salo not be able to participate. You know, we're not just users then. And contrary to that situation, His Excellency, they always say, the rest of Africa missed out on 3 industrial revolutions. Law not miss out on the 4th one. Law not just be users there. So now that then they in the early stages there, we for able to contribute. Let us say how they get for do. Somebody James Hungbe Kamara, they ask say law bring the Minister of Finance, law bring the bank governor. Would they consider around it? Everybody go ultimately can at this platform someday. Dynamic they encourage you now for keep civil, for law keep constructive. Because nobody no one can on side where they left the ball and go for in foot. So as long as we keep on decorous, people then go calm. Yeah? Yeah. So I want to tell you plenty thank you. Lord continue for share, Lord continue for engage, and we go get to what I want. Apart from that engagement day today, I attend another forum who will talk about the nexus between climate change and technology. So me and maybe indeed from West Africa. I may represent the West African group today because I mean the only West Africa will be in another panel day. We'll talk about the challenges of climate change, how technology go able help mediate that one day, how technology go able help lessen the impact, and what it will require. So I represent Salon Day because the president may not talk very clearly during UNGA speech. They say the budget not able to sustain the kind of resources we require for law mitigate, law able reduce the impact of climate change. So they would look forward to the world for support we. So I echo that one day. I echo that one day very strongly. Apart from that one day, we also be attend another initiative. We now three people call the Minister of Communications na Ghana, the Minister na Rwanda, and me for law able go talk the progress the whole country they make and how Digital Impact Alliance and other partners then go support Sierra Leone for law able to take connectivity to the last mile. So it's been very, very productive in here. Yeah, and we have stayed engaged. The president don't go. I mean, it don't lay the foundation, it don't lay the groundwork. Like Professor say, we are a very respected generation of Sierra Leoneans. They respect the government and will continue for ensure say. I don't understand what's in voters registration. Aaron Fauna say voters registration the struggle in the north. I'm not aware. I know the day. But I know say the EC be not issue a statement say they are aware of problems, but they don't solve them problem. And I mean you don't expect it to be 100%, but everything will be done by the Electoral Commission with government support for make sure say we'll get all it in and done. Yeah, Mohammed Savior Samu, he said bank governor still need for talk to we. Government don't do well in education and other areas then, but bank governor need for engage. Okay, we'll go bring the bank governor at some point. When I just patient we and when I assure we say oh you come, when I go keep the discussion civil with her. Yeah? We appreciate that one day. Said Victor Vandy, they say plenty thank you. Say they watch we from a bedroom. They want for know what's in the duty of citizens there for keep a civil space. Well Said, they say I mean, citizens, and this is not a law and order society, Salon a law and order society. If we want to be respected, an eye for an eye, but Marley says can only make the world blind. So there are laws, there are instruments there. A fine for law play by the rules. Where you feel offended, you can actually make complaint to competent authorities there, for taking the law into your hands. Now that make what happen on August 10, now clearly regrettable incident. And I hope say Sierra Leoneans they will don't say to ourselves never again. Somebody Haji Masako say then they only announce scholarships and when the closing date down there. Well, Haji I disagree with that one day. I also know say not to everybody they engage with digital media, but if you make a habit for visit the Ministry of Education, like indeed the visit you party there regularly, you get the link as soon as scholarship can and go notify you. Other people they don't tell me this. Now that make I know. So I think say important so stay on this. Albaka say, "Look, I said bank governor now. All my one law bring now. Okay, I go discuss out I know some apostle we inside go like for talk. Baba Peleto say law bring Adebayor to justice. Well, I don't hear it from the foreign minister. They don't speak out. Government they keep people they informed, but government not to football commentary now. You don't pass the ball to this person don't pass. It in at the 18-yard box now. We want for assure and say something is being done. The government they engage. They use every resource at their disposal for make sure say Sierra Leone is kept safe, secure, and cohesive. Jibril Toure say, glad for not the good things that will happen now. Hunger, they want to see the impact in coming years. Inshallah, inshallah. Some of the impact will be felt now, some in later years. It takes all of us to do that. Yeah, so somebody say, Anthony Vandy say, interesting improvements in the new direction. One Mike say, it must confess say this is the best government that the country has had since independence. Janet Matamusa say, the interaction great. Mata will owe it to the people of this country. His Excellency Binon talks say, go run a credible, transparent, and open government. And Salon don't sign up to the open government partnership. The Ministry of Information and Communications, Naina, the home to the open government process, the right to information, something so important for law keep and open. Oh, somebody asked companies and phone companies in the Salon not get 5G. That's an aspiration. Naboku African countries they not get 5G yet, but Salon will go be a trailblazer before long. Then don't begin to get a conversation with my ministry, with NATCOM, Ugokayanda eventually, Omar Lawler say, great job. What's your government doing for high prices? Somebody don't say, bring the bank governor. I'm committed to bringing him here. He is good at lecturing, so there's no need for him to talk to us anymore. Hey, Sulaiman, not if you don't want too much, bro. Malema economics, they tell me, say, the country will need for expand with productivity, with export base. We are a net importer as a country. So most of the little dollars we'll get will they take out for import goods there. Now that make the president say, let we focus on agriculture, on tourism and fisheries. But again, the bank governor we can't talk to Nana. Let no chew more than I can swallow. Matthew Ambrose say, really happy for the trip to the USA and what the update, please. Yes, Titus Bokari, he said you pleased with the interactive session. Thank you very much. Kovoma and Sumana, I know they understand. Georgia Jonah, you buy data and then in. Hello. So yes, I did na New York, na Mission House, na the internet been they get problem, because all too often the salon people they say, hey, na salon get internet problem. I'm not glad it will happen, but just for you understand, say this not to na technology, it's not peculiar to salon. These things happen, and one of them happen just now. So just for let people they understand. Somebody they ask if the scholarship choke about say if the scholarship cost the scholarship they cover all expenses like food and other logistics. What's not the responsibility of the government? I not get the details, but I know say for the most part they cover most of the things in the way you name. And on other occasions, governments can come in with some kind of allowances there. But either way, Sierra Leone and the benefit. Because this government don't commit to human capital development. It's only about fear that will afford citizens an opportunity for realizing full potentials. Education are the biggest equalizer. What been in a village, I want to be apprentice, So, not only education do this equalization, and I will remain modest and humble about that. Oh, Somebody says, so what about the Seratel company? Sometimes we buy the internet. Well, Seratel would be in very advanced stages. The National Commission for Privatization, be non-leader process day for privatizer. We don't pass on through cabinet. We are almost there. Before long, a new investor, a new technology company will take over. Then will inject in Seratel much needed capital, much needed technology, and then we'll able to solve some of the very challenging problems we'll get. I understand, say, staff and they complain. Yes, we know that. Now they make we don't hasten up this process. So we will come solve some of them problems there now and all the time. Well, Mike, thank you very much for the prayers and the kind sentiments. Okay, somebody want lab Amara Kute, you want to bring the higher education on board, higher education minister on board. Yes, I will bring her. Of course, everybody ultimately get for count on this platform. I mean, this na government's own platform, but we will also allow the citizens then the opportunity for ask the tough right questions. And this is the only way we build a nation where everybody gets a fair stake, where everybody they feel a part of. So in coming days and weeks, we'll go for bring other people there. David may not show a lot of interest for attend, but a busy at the travel today, so he cannot for some reason participate in today. But I want for sure when I say he will be here on subsequent occasions. So family, I want for encourage you now for continue for share. I want for encourage you now for continue for interact. Even though the time they can't done, but I want for tell you now all thank you. We don't make a date with this program. We don't left other schedule them for can make sure say we talk about salon. I mean, we want to send our own commitment as Sierra Leoneans there. Amara Kamara is isn't that the worst government in the history of this? Okay, Amara, well. Yes, Saidu Kabu. Saidu, you know, you just say we force, but you know they talk about what make and force. So this government can, because we take climate change seriously, Nadame will set up a dedicated ministry for the environment. At the same time, Nadame will form the National Disaster Management Agency. So, I mean, then one in the initial steps that would take, and government may not plan, may not commit to planting trees, particularly in the areas that would devastate. Okay, Omar bring your minister, Abu Kamara Salah bring the Ministry of Tourism. Mohamed Kalon say, thanks for a great job. Okay, Omar Isala send the strategic communications na the ministry then and they talk about what the government they do. That's noted. Already within that process there for decentralized. That's going to happen. So that then say go take back what they say now, so that then place there. Yeah. So somebody say if the bank governor concentrates on the dollar issue no more, there will be no runoff in 2023. Well, I go call the bank governor, let can talk to now one then this year. I mean, it's only but fair say let can talk to now. The non-seller wrap up. My time is done. So somebody said in the big for large now Ben Fadel Bar Ben, you know, say na the justice sector that one day. Justice sector government not interfere with them. Me not to the judiciary a day. Me did not the executive. And the president don't make it clear. We will not think out the justice process. We don't talk about access to justice. I will be very concerned if large not gets access to a lawyers there. But I'm sure he does. Yeah, so I want for tell you now all thank you with the wrap up now. It's been an exciting conversation. When I don't participate, when I don't ask questions then. Somebody say I bring the ACC boss now answer questions from the citizens there. So some other person Kovoma and Sumana Sela bring the trade minister. So we'll go for do a roster for them. Every week we bring one minister. Yeah? Yes, you want for Abdullahi Bangura say you want to talk to Dr. Abbas Bundu. Yeah, so we will continue for do this. We're not going to bring all man together. Other person will bring the Minister of Energy. We will continue for bring our colleagues in Naya for let them engage. Because governance in the 21st century, you get for supremacy, sovereignty lie with the people of Sierra Leone and then get ultimate power. And when they run the state in trust on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone. So I'm for telling you plenty thank you. We now join we now done the join we now with the non-share and so we open to comments then. We want for keep this interaction because this is not the only way we're able to bridge the communications gap with citizens then. I want for telling us say His Excellency continues to be very respected all over the place. Yesterday we had again speech na the General Assembly Hall. His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the newly elected president of Kenya, and probably the newest kid on the block will attend the hunger this year. After I deliver a speech, I can't see in the President Bill, for let them get some conversation. Then picture then they go around. Again, like what can they say, this country, Lord, they put Salon first. Everyone would disagree. So they put and say they don't invite her. Yeah, everyone then see invitation. Right? Or I talk say, they been say then go see na hunger, then go talk. People them in the talk, them they make all kinds of sense of her. But when I see now, the grapper and sit calm, they spend some time there. Even President Nana Akufo-Addo, instead do the same kind of thing, the pictures that they ran. I felt so very proud that I was in good company with the president, right? And so I want for let we wrap up today. I want for tell you now plenty thank you. Lord continue for share, Lord continue for engage, because Mr. can read the engagements there, so we can make a form part of the next discussion. So thank you very much. God bless you. Let's continue to share even after the program not officially end. God bless you. Stay blessed, and God bless Sierra Leone. Thank you. Bye bye.